Welcome back to a brand new episode of the Square Circle Podcast. I am your host, Marie Shadows, and on this episode of the Square Circle Podcast, we will be going over the New Japan Cup for March 14, 2025. There will be 3 matches. I will be giving you my thoughts on all 3 matches, but before we get into talking about the New Japan Cup, I would like to remind everybody that thank you so much for listening to the Square Circle Podcast around the world. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. And just to let you guys know, my Fourth Wall website is currently up and running, and it has brand new information, new content, and new ways to support the Square Circle Podcast, because the Square Circle Podcast is now a big passion project that now houses Tape Study Chatter, which is what I do during my live streams by watching professional wrestling matches, breaking down promos, talking about it with a live chat. So that's for wrestlers and wrestling fans alike, for us to gather around and talk about professional wrestling, the one thing that we so love, and also a tape study roadmap, which is specifically designed, a one-on-one consultation program that I am bringing into the world and putting myself out there and letting you guys know what it is about. Tape study roadmap is very similar to tape study chatter. The only difference is that it is a one-on-one consultation, and there are 2 ways to get involved. If you enjoy any of my content, and if you ever join the live streams where I do watch professional wrestling matches under the Tape Study Chatter banner, you will know that I am very serious about giving and providing outside the box thinking with feedback, suggestions, how to improve, what to improve on, anything of that sort. And if that sounds like something you wish to explore, head over to my Fourth Wall website. That link will be down in the description boxes on youtube.com/Square Circle Podcast. It would also be on marieshadows.substack.com as a little line. And then also in the description box for Spotify and wherever else this goes on all major podcasting platforms. If that sounds like something you wish to explore, there are 2 different options. We could do a one-on-one consultation for one time only at $31, and I'm being very transparent with the price because most people are not transparent with the price, and then some overprice. But for $31, a one-on-one consultation, just a one-off that you can test out if you need to, or a monthly membership at $16 per month. You also get a 1-year comp to the wrestling Substack newsletter, marieshadows.substack.com, just in case if I put up anything behind a paywall or have a paywall Substack chat, which is a private wrestling group chat that you can participate in and chat in and make your own threads. But it is there for you. I am there for you as a cheerleader in your corner to make sure that you are the best that you can be on the indies in your wrestling matches, and understand that it is important to have a character, that it is important to tell a story both outside and inside the ring, and it's very important how you use social media to your advantage to get the most bookings, to get the most buzz. At this point, any buzz is good buzz, but at this very moment, it is up to you whether or not you want to take that leap of faith with me. It's totally okay. I will still be continuing to do tape study chatter. You are more than welcome to come by the live streams of either Twitch and or Kick, and maybe a Facebook, who knows, but there are just other places to host tape study chatter. YouTube is going to be YouTube. We all know that. But yes, please, if you want to stay in contact with me, marieshadows.substack.com. Twitter at Marie_Shadows is the best place to reach me. I didn't even say my Instagram, Marie Shadows on the mic. If you want to message me on Instagram, if you want to email me, squarecirclepodcast@outlook.com. Those are places, again, everything down in the description box for all links. But just wanted to put that out there. Again, I am available to be your cheerleader if you want me to. If you enjoy the way that I talk about wrestling, get different perspectives, and try to make sure that you are as successful as you can be and even more, and elevate yourself in the wrestling business. Because all I want to do is just give back to the wrestling business. Now, let's jump into the 3 matches for the New Japan Cup of March 14th, 2025. The first match is TJP versus Drilla Moloney. Both of these guys are representing their respective factions. So TJP is representing United Empire. He is, quote unquote, the captain of the United Empire. And then Drilla Moloney is representing Bullet Club War Dogs. The United Empire and Bullet Club could still be making really good money even after that cage match that completely changed the landscape for both of these factions in New Japan Pro Wrestling. But we're going to get what we're going to get. TJP is still part of the Super Juniors, and Drilla Moloney has put on some muscle, so I guess he's a heavyweight, even though he hovers between being a heavyweight and also a junior as well. For this match, we have a quick start where TJP comes out with a drop kick directly to Moloney. That's as soon as the bell rings. And part of me lately has been seeing clips of TJP starting really quick for his matches. And I'm not exactly sure why, but it is something to look at and discuss and observe because TJP is doing the Aswang character, which is cool in itself. It's cool that he's adding his Filipino heritage and the lores and the myths that Filipino culture has, which I always love when a wrestler gives us that side and lets us know what kind of stories that they have, which are different from everyone else's. I just like history and fantasy, so I really do like that he created and is using the Aswan character. So, as we get that quick start, we also have Drilla going out to the outside. We have a twisting corkscrew crossbody onto Moloney, and Moloney being thrown into the barricade by way of TJP. In the beginning of the match, this is where TJP takes advantage against Moloney until Moloney gets the upper hand by spearing TJP in the middle of the ring when they get back into the ring, because Moloney is like, yo, slow it down, kids, slow it down. And even Moloney stops the traditional face wash of what TJP does to the wrestler in the corner, where he takes his boot, rubs it against their face, runs to the other corner, runs back, and hits them in the face. But this gets stopped by Moloney. We get some forearms and chops. And it was a really back and forth between these two. A DDT to Moloney, a spear, TJP kicked out of a cover. We get a spine buster from Moloney. Moloney has now been using the spine buster, which looks pretty cool and pretty devastating because Moloney has the extra muscle and strength to him. TJP tries putting the octopus hold on Moloney, but we get a rope break. We get I'm going to call it a drive-by knee because it looks like one, from TJP to Drilla. And there is the second time in this match where TJP does the face wash with his boot and it lands on Moloney. We get a double stomp from the trio Woe, a brainbuster, TJP kicks out of that, some rolling spears. By the way, I didn't notice this. Watching Drilla Moloney matches are amazing. He has developed very, very well in New Japan Pro Wrestling. I am so proud of him. He has really developed a character on his own. His confidence is through the roof. Everyone loves him. He has amazing chemistry with the rest of Bullet Club and even his tag team partner, Clark Connors. Drilla Moloney is doing amazing. Now, in order to separate himself from everybody else that is doing the spear, there are a couple people that I enjoy watching them do the spear, which is Clark Connors does a really nice spear. And leave some names in the comments so that way I could probably be like, oh, that person has a nice spear. But Clark has a nice spear, and then the way that Drilla does his spear now, he actually rolls in the air, like midway through he rolls. If you guys ever played Street Fighter and you ever pick the character named Blanca, he actually does something similar where he's rolling through the air, but he has like the thunder around him. And that's exactly how I picture this every time Drilla does his spear, because it's exactly that. He's rolling through the air doing the spear to the opponent. And I was like, a Street Fighter move. Like, that is amazing. It looks amazing. So Drilla does this rolling spear thunder. Should we call it that? The rolling spear thunder? I don't know. Let me know in the comments and we should let him know to call it that, because I don't think he has a name for it. But that is what it reminds me of. It's a rolling spear that he does to TJP. Of course, TJP's going to kick out of that because it's not really the finisher. We get a Falcon Arrow, Drilla kicks out of that, and then the Mamba Splash is supposed to end up being the decisive win for like TJP matches, but unfortunately, that didn't happen. We get a super STF on Drilla too once he kicks out, but then we get a rope break, I believe, to which a little bit later in the match we end up getting the Drilla Killer, which is a really devastating power driver, like reverse power driver, that Moloney can do this move out of nowhere. So Drilla goes over for the cover, 1, 2, 3, and is the winner and advances in the New Japan Cup. The only comments that I'll say as a whole is that TJP and Drilla Moloney, whenever you get United Empire and Bullet Club in the same ring, it is amazing to watch. They set the tone for the energy. They set the tone for the storytelling capabilities for both of these guys. Obviously, they're both professionals. We know that. But what I would like to see is that some more interaction, some more cohesiveness with United Empire. I personally think that the United Empire is damaged and it needs a lot of repair, and it really does need a leader. I know that the United Empire wants to operate on not having leaders, which is okay, but you still need somebody to command the team to make sure that the members within the team are going after the right type of titles and making waves and making noise and putting their name out there. And it just feels like after everything that has happened to the United Empire, the spark is no longer there. But I could be wrong. But for me to observe what happened to my favorite faction other than Bullet Club and a faction that I believe in, the United Empire, a faction like the United Empire that can rival that of Bullet Club. But it is broken to me. It is very, very broken. Our next match is Boltin Ole versus Shingo Takagi. I was bored with this match because it's like I've seen the same thing. It's like Boltin Ole needs to get a personality to survive in New Japan Pro Wrestling, but I totally get that you sometimes want to go with the flow of what the Japanese wrestlers teach these guys, and I totally get that. I really do, but sometimes he has to come into his own because it's not going to make a difference who he wrestles, what he goes after, and it's just going to be stuck in the same loop of like having these matches. Shingo is a dragon. He's a beast. He's really good. But I'm starting to feel that Shingo is just going through the motions. And it's not the Shingo of a couple years ago. We start off with some amateur wrestling because Boltin does have a background in amateur wrestling and Shingo could keep up with him. We get into a collar and elbow tie-up. We get into a headlock by Boltin, some shoulder tackles that test the strength that it's so predictable at this point that it's like you got to stop showing off how strong they are with shoulder tackles and you're going to just absorb the shoulder tackle and then yell and have the fans buy into it. And it's like you didn't do anything enough in the first 4 to 5 minutes of the match to garner a reaction from the fans that let them know, oh my God, you're so strong. There's not much. If you do amateur wrestling where you're trying to get a hold on them and you can't do it, you guys go back up to a vertical base. And then if you do a collar and elbow tie-up, which is basically every start, every match ever since the 80s, and then you move into the headlock position and then you try to bounce them off and you go into the ropes and stuff and you try to do a shoulder tackle. How does that sequence end up translating to the fans that you are strong and you can absorb the attacks just because you go right into, oh, so I can't push you off regularly from the headlock, but if I push you into the ropes, you're going to release the headlock and I'm going to try doing the shoulder tackle to take you down. Like, do something more within the beginning of the match that is not amateur wrestling into a collar and elbow tie up into a headlock that can show that you have the strength to stand toe to toe with Shingo Takagi. In the previous match, we had TJP quickly starting off with a drop kick to Drilla Moloney that sent him into the turnbuckle. You know, I never seen anybody that start off strong with a clothesline or a lariat to their opponent. Maybe Boltin Oleg should have did that to Shingo to knock Shingo off of his game and give a different freshness to Boltin Oleg that is just automatically going to go into I gotta wrestle. So amateur wrestling plus collar and elbow tie up plus headlock. Oh wait, let me push you off. Let me do shoulder tackle, drop down, leapfrog, duck the clothesline and or lariat kind of deal. Like, that's all the fundamentals that wrestling teaches, and you should have that fundamental, and it's great to have that fundamental, but expand upon the fundamental and not just let it have a fundamental. You know, like, maybe start the match off with a lariat somehow. I don't know how you're going to do it, but you could start off with a lariat. You could start off with a big boot. You could start off with running around your opponent and trying to trip them up and then try to apply some submissions. Do something different other than, oh my God, we got to do amateur wrestling. Oh my God, we want to showcase your wrestling and how tough you are with shoulder tackles that don't make sense in the first 4 minutes. So after all of that, we get a splash by Boltin Oleg. Shingo kicks out of the cover. We get this outside to inside knee shot to Boltin. That's from Shingo. At this point, Shingo looks like not today, kid. That kind of expression. There is a huge top rope suplex by Shingo to Boltin Oleg. Goes for a cover, kicks out. We get a chin lock reversal. At some point, Shingo gets caught by Oleg. We get a drop kick to Oleg. Shingo does this beautiful sliding lariat. Goes for the Made in Japan. Boltin kicks out. A DDT to Oleg, and then the Death Valley driver that Shingo does to Oleg. Shingo goes over 1, 2, 3 and beats Boltin Oleg and advances in the New Japan Cup. Our third match is Naito versus Jeff Cobb. First of all, as much as I respect and enjoy Jeff Cobb matches and get behind him and be a cheerleader and want more for Jeff Cobb, what was this match? You know, in the past, I've defended Naito about fans complaining about how slow he is. He has 2 bum knees. His eyes don't work, which, by the way, it has been said that Naito has to get laser eye surgery to fix his eyes, and he already has. So just in case if people are like, oh my God, how dare you say that comment? It's true. He needs more surgeries to fix all the nagging injuries, including his eyes, even though he got surgery for his eyes already. But you never know. He might need to go back for a checkup. So, like I said, in the past, I have defended Naito and how slow he is. But this match was a little bit all over the place. I'm not sure if it's because of the age, the nagging injuries, the fact that Jeff Cobb is stocky and big and such a tank of a wrestler that I don't know what was happening here. The chemistry was completely off, and it was interesting. We got some big hip tosses. I like the fact that Jeff Cobb did the Naito Cabron move, the combination that Naito does in the corner, but this time Jeff Cobb did it. Jeff Cobb misses a moonsault. There's a drop kick to Jeff Cobb, the DDT by Naito, and then this cool thing, this cool sequence that Jeff Cobb does, which is a tombstone, right? Follow me here. He does a tombstone, and instead of going for the cover quickly like how Undertaker would do, it's a tombstone into a Tour of the Islands, which is a finisher for Jeff Cobb, but he stands up, does a hammer fist, goes for a cover, 1, 2, kick out, and then does a standing moonsault, goes for the cover again, 1, 2, kick out. And I think that is so genius of Jeff Cobb to do. Jeff Cobb is very adaptable, and Jeff Cobb means business. I just don't understand what they are doing with him in New Japan Pro Wrestling. At this point, even though he said that he saw the rumors online and he said that what's real is that he's in Osaka, which, by the way, you guys have to stop sending out wildfires about, oh my God, this person is going to WWE when nothing is confirmed. Stop being the enablers for the gossip girls of the IWC. Stop it. And so, Jeff Cobb is definitely adaptable, and I do like the way that he did that combination. I do think that should have been it. But no, we move along in the match where, like I said, Naito kicks out. There's Destino that Naito does to Jeff Cobb. Both are down. We get a DDT into a small package. That could have been it, but no, it wasn't. We get Spin Cycle on Naito. Kicks out at 1. And then we get another spin cycle / pin to where Jeff Cobb goes and pins 1, 2, 3 and is the winner and advances in the New Japan Cup. It would have been very interesting if Jeff Cobb would have won the New Japan Cup instead of David Finlay. Imagine how that story would have played out between the United Empire, what's left of it, and Bullet Club War Dogs if Tanahashi wasn't like, hey, I need more people to join Hantai to take out Bullet Club because Bullet Club is the reason why we're losing wrestling fans. And we all know, if you've been following what I've been calling out, what I've been talking about, the topics I've been talking about for New Japan Pro Wrestling, it is not Bullet Club. Bullet Club and House of Torture, I'm going to separate the two. Those two entities, those two factions within New Japan Pro Wrestling is not the reason why fans are leaving. Fans are leaving because of AEW and how they present the New Japan Pro Wrestlers and how they don't really give a shit about the history of Japanese wrestling, the history of New Japan Pro Wrestling, the history of what these guys done and what it means to the business. And they're just like, oh, have random matches and lose, and commentary tries very, very hard, and no one knows how to structure a wrestling TV show that needs to still have a story within a beginning, middle, and end, and the video packages if they're going to be using any kind of Japanese wrestlers. Their leader, their CEO, Tony Khan, believes and says all the time that I love the 90s wrestlers. I love Japanese wrestling. No, you don't. If you did, you would have treated it way better than what we have been seeing for the past years that you and New Japan Pro Wrestling has had this partnership. But like I said, I'm going to go back to the main point. Imagine if Jeff Cobb won the New Japan Cup rather than David Finlay winning it. The stories that they could tell, the amazing emotional ride that we could go on, so we could have something else other than what WWE is giving us right now with their emotional stories and their wonderful stories. I just want New Japan Pro Wrestling to succeed. That's all I want. And I would like the United Empire to succeed, even though I feel like they are currently broken at this very moment. It doesn't feel like a united empire. It just feels like everybody is going through the motions, doing their own thing, and calling their own shots, which is totally fine. I do like the fact that they're calling their own shots. I don't think Jeff Cobb should be in a tag team at this very moment to go after tag team titles. I don't. Jeff Cobb needs a singles title. Jeff Cobb needs to establish his dominance and his presence with that global heavyweight championship title. I think that Jeff Cobb needs to establish his dominance as well when it comes to maybe going after the never openweight championship title, or maybe even going after the strong never openweight championship title and go after Gabe Kidd. There are many possibilities. There are a lot of belts that I can't really think off the top of my head of what belts Jeff Cobb should go after, but like the singles titles he should go after. Having him in a tag team that's not going to have a good payoff is really going to be not beneficial for him. While being in a tag team that has Callum Newman with him, and that could definitely help Callum evolve as a wrestler over time, it's not the right choice to do so. I would have probably put Callum with Jay, the new guy that they have that I don't really know too much about, and have them as a tag team for now. But I don't think Jay is a heavyweight. I just think that, or put Callum with the Great Khan for a little bit. I don't know. But Jeff Cobb needs to be a singles wrestler and someone that can lead if he wants to lead, but someone that can be intimidating and not to mess with the United Empire. That's what I loved about the United Empire when they were a complete unit before the shit that happened that I didn't like. But it felt like everybody was on the same page. It felt like they all had at least the common goal to be the best in New Japan Pro Wrestling and give us the best stories and give us the best matches and go after title belts that made sense for what they had. It's such a different time looking back on the United Empire versus United Empire 2025, and it's just so different, so weird that I'm like, where is that spirit? And where is the guy who actually has all the money that put the United Empire together? Where's Gideon? I almost forgot his name. But where's Gideon, man? Like, we need him. He could have been the leader. He's supposed to be the orchestrator of the United Empire. But we haven't seen him in, what, it's like 3 years now? 4 years now? Something like that? Like, come on, guys. Get it together. Get it together. I don't know. But that was the review for the New Japan Cup for March 14, 2025. As a reminder, we have Drilla Moloney winning and advancing in the cup. We also had Shingo winning and advancing in the cup. And we also had Jeff Cobb winning and advancing in the cup. As always, ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed this episode of the Square Circle Podcast reviewing the New Japan Cup of March 14, 2025, please make sure to share it out, bring a friend along, let them listen to it. If you are on the YouTube side of things, youtube.com/Square Circle Podcast, please make sure to hit that bell for all notifications. Hit that subscribe button and also hit that like button too. You can hit the dislike if you want to, but if you hit that dislike, just let me know why you didn't like it. And leave a comment because I will be responding to all comments. And check the description box for ways to help support the Square Circle Podcast because it is independently owned and independently, I make everything, basically. I love what I do by way of you guys. If you are on Spotify and all major podcasting platforms, just keep in mind that on the Spotify platform, they now gave fans and viewers the tools to interact with their favorite podcaster on Spotify. You guys can leave comments there. And again, I will respond to every single comment that I can. And you can also participate in the polls. If you're over on the free wrestling newsletter, the Substack wrestling newsletter, marieshadows.substack.com. You can definitely leave a comment there too. Other ways to help the Square Circle Podcast is by going to my Fourth Wall website, new and improved, new info, new everything. Go there, grab yourself a membership that starts at $1 all the way to $16. The $16 tier is for wrestlers only that want to improve their craft, get feedback, some outside the box thinking. And if you enjoyed what you heard here on this podcast episode, there is more for you if you apply to the Tape Study Road Map. I thought I almost butchered that. But yeah, the Tape Study Roadmap, there are 2 ways to get some one-on-one consultation with me by me reviewing and breaking down your matches and giving you some ideas outside the box stuff. You can grab that $16 monthly commitment where you also get a 12-month free comp for the Substack Wrestling newsletter over at marieshadows.substack.com, which is like a $70 a year value kind of deal going on, if that makes sense. You could grab that and I'll be your cheerleader forever until you decide that that's enough. Or you could do a one-time payment, a one-off, what I like to call the tape study drop-off for $31 to test out whatever you want to test out, meaning you can pick my brain and I could pick your brain to understand what you want your goals and your strengths and your weaknesses, and tailor the feedback directly to you and to you alone and whatever match you want to give me to watch. That was the most very unsmooth way to explain to you what the tape study roadmap is all about. But I am very passionate to help you out for one-on-one consultations. And if that's something that you want to pursue, by all means, head over to any of the links down in the description and or comments. And you could definitely find me over at Twitter at Marie_Shadows or over on IG. I made a new IG channel called Marie Shadows on the mic. And then if you want to email me for any other reason, email me at squaredcirclepodcast@outlook.com. I am here to help you and succeed and elevate your game in the wrestling business because we never stop learning. I never stop learning, and I love to learn, and I love to hear out different types of wrestlers from all walks of life. So again, if that's something that you want to do, just look at the links down in the description and get in touch. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the next podcast episode will be continuing to talk about the New Japan Cup, and I will see you all on the next one.